Hello, hello, and welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here literally every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. We've got epic troll slayers. You've kept us safe for years. Thank you. And we've got a fantastic community that's here every day because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Again, thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello, you go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on a higher speed, or whatever works for you. So, and yes, I am here every day. I'm sometimes late, especially recently, as I'm trying to get new stuff going. Sorry. I do start early, trust me. Anyway. But I'm here every single day of the year and have been for over 6 years. So there's always a community here for you. All right. Hello, hello, hello. I thought we could use some Zen Kitty today. So we decided to do this because the real Zen Kitty's right there. That's his little, the beginning of his tail. He's got his head up in the corner. It's very sweet. Okay. So Boo is back there. But, I'm glad you like this. Thank you. What was I going to say? One of the reasons I'm running late today is because I have a graphic for you. I have one graphic, one picture. It's just one picture. And I'm hoping that will help explain a little bit what we're going through. All right. So, I want to start with the picture because I think it's going to help. You can kind of keep it in the back of your mind as we're going through the rest of the questions. So thank you. Anyway, all right. So we starting at 2 minutes 30 seconds in. And I'm sitting today. I had to do a lot of walking this morning, and my dogs are barking. I keep talking about hang on. See. All right. In Aries. You've heard a lot from astrologers on YouTube and elsewhere, I am certain, who have been talking about Neptune conjunct Saturn, and this is at 0 degrees of Aries, and this hasn't happened before, and and there's just people throwing a lot of jargon at you, people throwing a lot of, and I know that for people who aren't steeped in astrology, it can be confusing, but it can also, even if you know some astrology, it can be hard to get the effect. So that's why I started doing astrographics, astrology graphics, basically. So I created a special image just to show you, because Neptune, god of the sea, has gone into the sign of Aries. Let me show you. Actually, let me go up here and show you this first here. We're talking about, all right, you don't have to know all this, but this is like the base chart. Everything's like a variation of this. But right here, we have Aries. It's the first sign of the zodiac. First, second, third. It starts there and it goes counterclockwise. It just does. But this is Aries. And we've been dealing with Neptune. See the trident? Whoops, see the trident right over there? Neptune rules Pisces, and Neptune has been in Pisces, which is why things have been so hard to pin down. Alternative facts. No, they're not alternative facts, because just like if you put something in the ocean, it dissolves. That's what Neptune does. It rules everything that's not material. It's not that you can't feel. You can't physically feel it, but it also rules art. It rules everything from art, spirituality, fog, that kind of stuff. and it's been in its own sign. And honestly, I think sometimes planets in their home signs, they get a little much. They become a little much. But now it is moving into Aries. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is like when you're born and you cry out. You are an individual. It is ruled by Mars. You can see the symbol, Mars, who is a soldier. And it's very martial energy. And you might think, well, that doesn't sound good. But you have to understand that the US chart has the IC down here at the bottom, right? Here, just one of the main angles. Down here, this is the foundations, the home, who we think we are as people. The IC for the US is in Aries. I think I try to explain it this way. Why do you think we have a Second Amendment when so many countries do not? Part of it is we have an Aries IC. So it's usually home and, you know, where your home is, what your home looks like, what the tone is, who we are as a people, this kind of cozy kind of feeling. Oh, no. Aries is the castle, is the battlefield, which makes for, you know, strong people. But between our Aries sense of home and our Cancerian sun, which is Big Mom, yeah, we have a huge military. Anyway, so now that you've seen that, it can help to visualize what Neptune is doing as it has entered Aries and gone across the US IC, or it's about to. It's 1 degree away. It will be exact later. Anyway, so I created this image to help explain it. And you can keep this in mind when people are talking about the astrology of what's going on. It's this, even though, you know, we're a pretty young country and we don't have castles per se, think of it as martial energy, where you build in stone, you have thick doors that close, that can stand up against, you know, whatever's going on. It's that strong home martial energy, but you got Neptune coming through, and it is just awash. It's just, there's fog rolling in. There's the ocean is in the town, in our homes, and yeah, we're feeling a little bit of panic. Marjorie Orr, the astrologer, she has a great astrology blog, but if you read her astrology blog for a while, you will realize quickly she really hates Neptune. Really, really, really. I mean, I thought most people's I thought most people's was reserved for Pluto, but man, she really every time Neptune shows up anywhere, she says, yes, panicky failure. It's like, dang, okay. So, you know, if we're used to living in this fortified, get up and take action, this is how we see ourselves, this is our home, and we've got this going on with all this water and all of this and the waves and the emotions and the things wanting to dissolve in this martial idea of what we are. Yeah, you'd feel a little panic. Yeah, you'd feel a little like, oh my gosh. Would you trust your leaders? If your home looks like this, do you trust your leaders? No. Which is, as a Pisces, I'm offended anyone would hate Neptune. Every planet has a good and bad side. So yeah. And some people say that Neptune in Aries is kind of like a bit like Mars in Pisces, because they rule. One rules the other. They rule the opposite one. And some people who have Mars in Pisces, I'll tell you, I've had astrologers try to do a number on me, basically telling me, oh, you can't be effective. Your Mars can't take action. It's that wishy-washy Piscean energy that you can't. It's like, I'm sorry, have you seen the Navy? Mars in Pisces can work just fine. It's more like a priest, but as Neptune goes through the thing. Anyway, but what I'm trying to tell you is this is what we're doing. This is the transit. The part of our chart that is our home is the buildings. These are what our homes look like symbolically. But Neptune's coming through. Now, in a couple of weeks, Saturn is also coming through. And they're going to be together. So I'm going to create images like that too. So, Visualize 70 says, what if you have Mars in Sagittarius? I don't have every image in astrographics worked out, but I do have most of them. And Mars going through the signs starts out as the soldier in the first house. And anyway, keep this in mind as we go through today's questions. Look up here for 1 second. Mars in its own house, this is a soldier. And then when Mars moves into Taurus, it's melt the swords down into plowshares, it's the soldier who wants to hang up his sword, his fighting implements, and turn it into growing and calm, and doesn't want anything to do with this. And it goes all the way around. Over here in Leo, Mars is he's the head guard at the palace. Big, shiny gold armor, that kind of thing. Trump he has an ascendant in Leo, and his Mars is in Leo. And it's all gold. It's all gold, and look how important I am. And there's a good side to Mars and Leo, but there's also Trump. If you work your way up, Mars when you get to I think you're gonna like this. This is kind of fun. Mars, when you get to Mars in Libra up here, have you seen the movie Somewhere in Time? Christopher Reeve willing himself back in time because he falls in love with this portrait of Jane Seymour. Those are the actors, obviously. And that's Mars and Libra. Some people think, oh, they're not big, strong, manly, beefy. It's like, yeah, but they just stole your girl. So, because Libra's about relationships. We get to Scorpio. This is where you get the romance novel sexy enforcer in the film noir. That's this. But then you get this adventurer. So this is these are basically two good fictional characters to describe Mars in Sagittarius and Mars in Capricorn. Mars in Sagittarius is like Indiana Jones. Traveling, wants to learn, wants to see what's around the corner. Mars goes into Capricorn and it's James Bond. The UK is a Capricorn nation, and it's all very queen and country kind of huzzah. Anyway, so Mars kind of takes on these different flavors, and this is how I try to explain it to people. Okie doke. Anyway, Danielle says, I'm a Libra Mars. Excellent. Oh my gosh. You don't have to be male. Mars and Libra can be very powerful, and they're always underestimated. So to people, it's like, do not underestimate a Mars and Libra. No. You do not understand the power. They just take different forms. All right. So, I was going to show you. Okay, so you've got this in your head because this is what we're going to talk about, because this is where we are right now. Now, for those of you who are into astrology or trying to learn, I just want to show you this, that I added what this is saying down here. Neptune transits natal Aries IC, our natal IC in Aries. There are the symbols to use to express that in astrology would look like that. Transiting Neptune in Aries, conjunct IC Aries. You might even put an N after the conjunction symbol for natal, but yeah. So it looks confusing, but that's what that means. All right. Thus endeth today's segment. Why in the sky? All right. Let's go back to the Zen kitties and let's jump into. Lewis says it looks like cursing in Klingon. There we go. All right. Smart Holy says Mars and Taurus for me. Did you ever see Dr. Zhivago? No, that's more Mercury. Anyway, no. That's a different discussion. Okay, let's move on to that. At 17 minutes in. Oh, man. So, dumpster fire has sparked a little backlash. By saying the U.S. we should move on from the Epstein files. Yeah, you should turn the page. Yeah, you're on the next page too, dude. And that's been a running joke everywhere from Colbert to across the internet. People are saying, yeah, turn the page. Oh, we can talk about that maybe at the end if you bring it back up, Deb. Thank you. Oh, anyway, so you say we should move on. And when the female reporter said, but what about Trump said, and if you're a woman, I'm going to guess something like this has happened to you. Trump said to her, you know, of course, you're fake news, you're really nasty. But he said, you know, I have never once seen you smile. I'm sorry. You haven't seen me smile? Oh, do you want me to go make you a sandwich? Shut up. I'm sorry. That's. I've never once seen you smile. Ew. And when JD Vance was asked about that whole conversation, oh, he knew all about it. And he said, and I quote, "That's really insightful of him." Ew. DMAC says, I have men say that to me and it really gets my blood boiling. Yep. Yes, me too. Traveling Tarot says, many men think we should always be smiling at them. Ugh. Blech. And Tarot says, nothing to smile about. Yeah. Whew. Gross. Yeah, I mean, I realized, you know, I've talked to some men over the years who they were offended that, you know, they'd be walking behind a woman even a ways back and they'd never hurt anybody, but she kind of nervously looks over her shoulder and she would like hurry to her car or she'd cross the road. And that's really insulting that she would think I would. It's like, how would she know? women have to be careful. And so and this goes along with as I'm shuffling ick. I want to look at this, and then also us moving on. Anyway, I've told this story before, but hear me out. Back in the early 90s, my dad wanted to sell a car and get a new one. Sell our car and get a new one. And I went with him down to the dealership. And I was college age, early 90s. And we're standing there, and he goes off with one of the other salesmen to talk about what they were going to get. And this other salesman, two of the salesmen walked up to me separately at separate times, looked me in the eye, looked down at my chest, looked back up at me, and smiled. They both did it. Women can tell where your eyes are looking, you creeps. And then he had the audacity to say, because it was down in Louisiana, so I got the accent, but it's not anything specific to Louisiana. He was like, the old car, he was like, "Is that your pretty little blue car?" If Dad hadn't already set things up, I would have just left. Scumbags. The bear says, "Unbelievable smile. When do you ever see him smile?" Yeah. When has that man ever honestly laughed? Ugh. Anyway. Beth Bluebird says to the guys in the chat, "We love you." Oh yeah. You're not like that. So Lewis says, "No, I don't want no scrub." I'm not the size best friends, right? Yeah, this is gross. Right in the middle. You need to smile more. Like Trump doesn't already have trouble with female voters. Please. This judgment, this 1950s, we must keep things so that only rich white men have power and no one else does, keep women in their place. Gross. Yeah, we're done with that. And now we have more equality. So get stuffed. Just when you think that Trump can't get any worse, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, every day. Every day is a new reminder. What a scumbag. Raymond said, "So creepy and condescending." Yes. Yeah. So, there we go. All right. So the question is, at 2024, will it go away? Somehow I don't think so. Will this go away for dumpster fire? Man. Whew. Finzenberger, not smiling equals frustrated. Thank you for sharing your anger. I don't know what that means, Finzenberger. So, all right. So this whole Epstein thing, is it just going to melt away for dumpster fire? No, this is a rubber hitting the road. We're all disgusted. Seriously, the amount of times I have felt nauseous over the last few days because of stuff that's come up in the news or what I've been reading. Ugh. Victims who, well, he can't make it go. He can't make this go away. He doesn't have the power to make this go away, as much as he wants to. There's a lot of pain here, and people, if we want justice for the victims, and also there's a human. We're hardwired to want a certain amount of fairness. There are sociopaths among us who they don't care, but in general, even babies know what's fair and not fair. I mean, we're hardwired for that. The men who are sitting pretty were involved, criminals, theft, grossness. Now, this is minor arcana. It doesn't mean nothing will happen, but it does. It is very much real life where the rubber hits the road. And we're going to get to that in a minute, because in other countries, they're all taking action against their citizens who were involved with Epstein. As it should be here. Whew. Star says, I saw it. And Lewis says, yay. Oh, God. Jeannie says, I had some jerk tell me once, when you smile, you look like you're 16. When you don't, you look like you're 60. Then I'd rather look 90. So why would I care what you think? Anyway. Is for dumpster fire, is this going to go away? Because again, the DOJ is holding on to millions of documents, and they're trying to say, "Oh no, it's not relevant. We're just not going to release those." No, that's not the law. No. Silk Steel Kitchen Witchery says, if I was that reporter, I would have told him, then give us something to smile about instead of the crap you're pulling. Mm-hmm. But I have to say, when I worked at one of the bookstores I worked at, one of the women who worked the floor with me was from New York City, and there was someone who came in and I was in Minneapolis at the time, and but she was from New York City, and let's just say she didn't turn back into a queen of New York City very often, but when she did, yes. Oh, go. It was great. All right. All right. Oh, this isn't going away, you big jerk. There is a law enforcement out there. There's a lot of grief and worry, and this fool walking around, I've been completely vindicated. No, you haven't. Not even remotely. Queen of Pentacles, but you do have Pam Bondi and her ilk. Knight of Cups, so Democrats are not giving up. Fruits of labor. We want to see the rest of it. Come on. You've already released the victims' names. Well done. So just give us the rest of it as is. and we'll take it from there. Wow. Raymond, did you just say so many men have mommy issues? It's true. It's true. Okay. Oof. Okay. Speaking of women who you attack at your own, you're on your own, buddy. I don't know what you were thinking, but you obviously weren't, because let me share this with you, because it is glorious. Do do dee 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 ba bum ba bum. Oh, we love it. Share. No, wrong button. Share screen. Window. No. Tab. Yeah, that one. Okay. From the desk of Hillary Clinton. So let's stop the games. If you want this fight, Representative James Comer, let's have it in public. You love to talk about transparency. There's nothing more transparent than a public hearing, cameras on. We will be there. Ooh, there are not two more political animals in the United States of America than Bill and Hillary Clinton. And Bill is aging and he's getting a bit frail, but Hillary, these idiots in the GOP honestly think that they're going to have gotcha moments with the Clintons. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah. Wow. Bear says, yeah, Hillary, she's a Scorpio. Yes, she is. Don't mess with Hillary. Fawn says, let's go. Yes. Smart Holy says, oh yeah, let's bring it on. Four Wagon Tail says Hillary's going to bring it. Official S70 says, gloves off. Whew. Okay, look, I could be wrong. Maybe it's wishful thinking on my part. But this just feels like... Hang on, get the rack out. All right. The group of Republicans, they're on the committee or whatever. Okay. This is we know this is incredibly disgusting. And there's a whole lot of pain there. But they're not the best people to argue, considering these Republicans have been protecting Donald Trump this whole time. And Comer has now set the precedent that presidents can be called before Congress. Or face jail time. Thank you, Comer. Out in the cold and the lovers. So what this feels like is everything they're trying to throw at the Clintons, specifically Hillary, but the Clintons will say, really? Because your cult, you support Donald Trump? He was best friends for all these years. We weren't friends with him. He was at our daughter's wedding. A lot of people were. All right, was it just Ghislaine was at their daughter's wedding? But yeah, we didn't vote for his best friend. Yeah, you did. You carry his water all the time. It just feels like everything that goes here gets pushed back that way. Good luck. Now, if they can get this going, it might be. It's okay. The closer we get to Mercury retrograde, which is the 25th, 26th, something like that. If this happens in Mercury retrograde, so if there isn't actually, this doesn't actually happen for a few weeks, that could get kind of dicey, because stuff out of the past, but you can also get miscommunications and what have you. But this is not their first rodeo. Yeah. M. Kelby says it's been over 1,300 days since Jordan failed to reply to his subpoena. Ding, 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 ding. Whereas if you or I don't answer a jury summons, we could go to prison, or at least jail. Subpoena from Congress, Jordan. Everyone else has to do it. Oh, but not him. Anyway. Oof. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. February 26th and 7th. Okay. Thank you. 26th. Thank you, Kylie. All right. So, speaking of holding people accountable, and let's go through a few. 3710. What was that? Lithuania has launched a human trafficking investigation after newly released U.S. files tied to Epstein reference prominent Lithuanians, prompting prosecutors to assess potential crimes, international links, and public fallout. So we have Lithuania. So it'd be like an A, B, C. A, Lithuania. B, Poland. Poland launched a preliminary inquiry into whether Epstein may have operated as part of a Russian intelligence honeytrap network, with Prime Minister Donald Tusk citing newly released U.S. Justice Department files. And there should be a C here. I thought there was a C here about Prime Minister Starmer. Is it down here? Who gave a speech that I heard part of. Now he still hired this guy, but at least he said the right words. Anyway, so with Lithuania, let's just go through this. Let's go through Lithuania, Poland, UK. Hillary would have been a really good president. I do not understand how anyone could vote for Trump over Hillary Clinton. I don't. She was not weak. She was incredibly smart. I'm not saying she's a perfect person, but dear, great Gussie. All right, Lithuania. Lewis is in Kamala too. Yeah. Yep. Lithuania. They see what's there. They get upset. So there's your prosecutor. And women are safer in general. When you get predators like this, you put these predators in prison. Everyone's safer. Because people like Epstein, it isn't just him. there's the evil has tentacles. So yeah, they're like, yeah, we're going to deal with this. Of course, as many people are afraid of strong women for some weird reason. Let's make this 44. Let's look at Poland. So they are wondering, they're thinking Epstein may have been operating as part of a Russian intelligence honeytrap network. Oh, well, okay. All right. The Epstein lies have been out there for a long time. We know that. Card for the reading. But it was a matter of time. Wheel of Fortune. Should be right here. For a long time, these men were sitting pretty. Knight of Pentacles. They had people protecting them. But then we see what happened, and then I've got a big old death card. So here in the States, we may have become jaded and upset because it seems like Trump is never held accountable for how vile a human being he is. But other countries they're not in the same cult. They are, as you might say, immune to his charms, as they were. So, big old death card. Then we need to look at 43 minutes, and we need to look at in the UK. So Prime Minister Starmer, he gave a speech. I heard part of it, and he was saying that someone who worked for him. Why is this person's name just zipped out of my head? If you had asked me 5 minutes ago what this person's name was, I would have been like, oh yeah, that guy. Anyway, one of the ministers, please help me. I'm flailing. You might think you're smart. You might think that you have a good grasp on things. And then all you have to do is put a camera on your face every single day for years on end. And you will find all of the limits. Anyway. Mandelson. Thank you, Mandelson. Thank you. So Mandelson, he was, yeah. Mandelson, Epstein. That's all you need to know. So PM Starmer came out and said, I would love, basically, I'm going to paraphrase. Forgive me. I would love to put this jerk on blast, but the authorities, the legal authorities have told me that if I do that, then I will risk putting the cases against him at jeopardy. And no matter how much fun that would be politically, what happens to the victims is more important. You knew there was something, but Starmer's under fire because you knew something about this when you hired him, but it's the extent of his links to Epstein that suddenly has Starmer going up. But at least it's something. The bar is so low. Seriously, the bar is so low. You barely need to, just lift your foot a little to come over it. Ugh. Jeff says, broadcasting in college was hard, but I scored high. Excellent. It's astonishing how the whole dynamic changes when you're on the other end of the camera. Yes. Yep. Whew. Findenberger says yes, he hired him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. So I don't. This doesn't feel like it's. I think there is such a tsunami from the Andrew asteroid hitting the ocean. That it's here, but it's all minor arcana. It's all and him. It's Andrew, and then this guy or that guy, and we'll deal with them. But it's man. Okay, so at 47, gosh, the time's gone so quickly. At 47:10, hang on. All right, there are 3 questions and they're all related. 47:30. I'm going to kind of lump them together a little bit. All right, so the first question was from Nettie. So the Minnesota coroner has determined that the shooting was a homicide by ICE. And now because of that, the Minnesota AG can prosecute these agents as murderers, as they should be. Yes. Will Minnesota win the case against ICE? Okay. The second question, Carol was saying, will these crimes by DHS /ICE, etc., ever be successfully prosecuted? And Nettie was also saying, so I was listening to Polok this morning. He says that a dumpy appointed judge is giving Alex Preddy's estate permission to sue DHS and ICE due to the destruction of evidence of his murder scene, loss of not only his gun, but the agents, not only his gun, but the ones used to unalive him. Will Alex's family get justice? Okay, so it all comes down to this: will there be justice for Alex Preddy? So. Yeah, and by the way, I have seen the video of him a few days earlier kicking the back of a vehicle. It's not a capital offense. Sorry. So if you don't already have right-wingers trying to throw that at you. Same for coming into the country illegally. Not a capital offense. It's not even a felony. It's a misdemeanor. Oh. Silk Steel Kitchen Witchery said the coroner in Minnesota said it was murder, and the police say that all evidence was destroyed. Did they really say all evidence was destroyed? I didn't see that, but man. I would love to say, yes, this man is going to be held completely accountable and everyone will know what a scumbag these, well, not men will know what scumbags these men are. King of Swords, so there you have your law enforcement. There is a sword of truth, but hemmed in. So yeah, you get the prosecution, you get the AG, and you get Major Arcana, the Hangman, and the Lovers. So it feels like there's justice, but at the same time, the MAGA start treating them like martyrs or which says plenty about their character. So yeah, but I am getting some justice. Oh, good. Jeff says no. A Minnesota federal judge demanded the release of Preddy's murder evidence, according to NBC. Good. Good. We want real justice. What happened is the devil. Here's secrets, and there's the far right bludgeon. So I'm getting yes, but, which is better than no. So it won't be 100% that everything we want it to be, or the far right's reaction will be ridiculous. And by the way, if having the guns having disappeared, so you technically don't have the murder weapon, that would basically mean that Luigi just walks. There's still a chance Luigi's just going to walk, by the way. Let's throw that out there. Okie dokie. I do want to make sure I get to this question from G. Green about, as someone said earlier in the chat, Vive la France. 5330. 5330. Will the French investigation into Elon Musk reveal new details about election interference in the US? Because apparently the French have started, they've started digging through all kind of stuff of Musk's. Yep. Normally, Musk can just pay people off. And I'm not saying that you can't pay off certain French people. You can pay off certain people of any country or culture, or, everybody's got their bad apples. But there's a certain quality of don't mess with the French. Yeah, they're not. The French are not pushovers. Musk may have reason to worry. Thief card. The plan. Refusal to do anything decent. Knight of Cups, so actively coming up against him, and it ends in the Lover's card, which feels really gross. I thought that they are, the French are going after Elon Musk about election interference, but he's in the Epstein files, isn't he? Yeah, this is, I mean, the French may not have gone in there on a fishing expedition, but they might get more fish than they thought. My evidence card. He's a day late and a dollar short, so he may seem unstoppable. And my gosh, could he could buy a country that doesn't have, well, in theory, they're not necessarily realized assets, but in theory, he could buy a country that doesn't have extradition to the U.S. or France or anyone. There's a lot of evidence here, though. That's my evidence card. So there's a certain point where if they bring the evidence out, you don't even necessarily need this trial. If he has, heaven only knows what information Elon Musk is sitting on. Where to start? Yeah. Man. That's true. If it wasn't for France, the U.S. would not have won the Revolutionary War. True. And Lafayette was amazing. Never owned a single slave, by the way. Never. It was illegal in France. And even when he was here, never. We like Lafayette. Anyway. Gosh, I am out of time. Oh, let me leave you with some good news. This made me happy. Because there's good news too. At 58:40. Ooh, can get my tea. The Supreme Court of the United States, of these very United States, cleared the way for California to use a newly approved Democratic-drawn congressional map in the 2026 midterms. Huzzah! Rejecting a Republican challenge and potentially enabling Democrats to gain up to 5 House seats. Huzzah! A move championed by Governor Gavin Newsom as a response to GOP-led redistricting in Texas. How's this going to go? Oh. Sharon says, "Wah." Oh, I am here every day because you're here. Oh, Deb, yes. Well, let me just answer this, and I will tell you, because there's something I learned, and there's something I do different from what I did for decades. So, all right. Oh, California. Aw, does MAGA feel beaten up? Oh, yay! Democrats doing well. They're just not being as many places for Republicans to vote for an authoritarian. King of Swords, there are your election officials, your governor, that sort of stuff. This is going to vote, going to, and Democrats right at the end. Yeah, it's going to help a lot. Yay. All right. Oh, okay. So as far as the readings go, as far as the astrology goes, that is going to be it for me for today. But I will be back tomorrow, as always. And this afternoon at 3 o'clock Central, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel where you're always welcome. So I'm going to do the hair color just a second. I'm staying on for that. But for those who are not interested in how I get my hair this color, please remember you're not alone. We're in this together, and there are good days ahead. All right? So hang in there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so let me pull up exactly. If you give me 1 second, I can pull up exactly, because I completely changed the way I dye my hair because of something that Brad Mondo said. Just kind of fun. That basically, let me put this color. For years I used the L'Oreal box dye. However, what I found learned from Brad Mondo is the box dyes have they have a lot of things that lift. They have a lot more chemicals. They are potentially more damaging, depending. And what he was saying, thank you, Finzenberger, thank you. What he was saying was that what you really need is something that will deposit color, not do all the other stuff. But means you have to buy the. Here, let me take this down and share. If I show you the whole screen, no, I'll do the tab. That's that. Okay. So I started using this. I don't know why it says purchase twice, because I use this all the time. So it's this Color Charm permanent gel hair color, and it just deposits. It doesn't do anything else. And this is hazel blonde. Basically, it's what I do is a dark blonde, and it comes out more like, I think this is more like a medium brown, but okay. So that's what I use there. And then the other thing, because you have to get that has a tube in it, which has the color, but you have to buy a bottle with the little prongy things at the top, so you can spread it around your hair, your scalp, and all of that. But you can't just use this as is. Stop that and share this. You also have to get oh my gosh, really? That was the wrong one. I thought I had the right one. You have to, there we go. You've got to get this developer. This bottle of developer. So, and also in the box dye, the developer is really, really strong, whereas I just use the 20, which is lower. which also in theory does less damage to your hair. I don't know what the powder lightener is. I don't use anything like that. So I just get a bottle of the 20, and it's big. It'll last a while because you only need 4 ounces at a time. And this is 32, so it'll last a while. But each tube of the hair dye for me is one use. So while I have to buy more pieces, that's thank you. I've tried henna over the years, but I can't make it work properly for myself. I know there's some people who can. So this has worked well for me. How often do you use it? 6 weeks? Something like that. It's, when I start seeing lots of gray roots. Now, if I wasn't on camera, if I was just working at home and I just let my hair grow out. Honestly. After my divorce, I did let my hair grow out for a year or 2. And I liked it, but a lot of people didn't. And I just thought, it does look better this way. But left to my own devices, I go for comfort and just naturalness, anyway. Melissa says no dye for me. Going gray is okay. Absolutely. Beth Bluebird says on screen it looks auburn to me. Yes. I thank you for that. But yes, it does. There's always a red. I always get the red tintish, the warm colors rather than the cool colors, because my father is a carrot top redhead. So while I'm Slovenian and Croatian on my mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family is Celtic through and through. So having a reddish tint to my hair looks better for the coloring. So anyway. All right. What color is my natural hair color? Oh, it's on the channel. It's not completely dissimilar to this. So I've also got I also make my hair darker than my sisters do. They've all gone for a lighter brown. And my oldest sister, who never dyed her hair is actually, there's very little gray in it. So lucky her. I started going gray in my 20s. So anyway. All right. Michael says, oh my gosh, $20 for dye, $38 for developer versus $6 for a box dye. Yeah, the developer does last longer. And it's actually this developer, it depends on where you are. Like this bottle of developer here is $9 for 32 ounces. So that's not bad. How much was this? When I last purchased this hair color, view order, it was $10. Yeah. So it's not cheaper than box dye, but apparently it's better for your scalp and that sort of thing. So like I said, Brad Mondo talked about it, and I thought, I'll give that a try, and I've been very happy with it. So that was that. All right. All right. So thank you for being here and hanging out. All right. So I'm gonna head out and get ready for a creative sprint, and got so much in the works, all kind of fun stuff. Hopefully I will be sharing with you soon. Oh, thank you for the great suggestions. Thank you. All right. So hang in there. All right. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. All right. And I'll see you later. Okay. All right. Bye.